Thank you. Two most influential teachings of my life are yours and Buddhism and the modern teaching of Zen. Presented by Eckhart Tolle. And I would think that you may be familiar because Oprah's done quite a bit of work with him as well. And for
That's where we get all of our information.
And there's a lot of places where... I'm sorry, I actually missed what you said.
We're just playing with you a little bit.
I appreciate it.
We were letting you know that we get all of our infinite intelligence from watching Oprah.
I do. And there's a lot of crossover between what he teaches. He acknowledges vibration. Obviously, you acknowledge meditation. So that's the framework of where I'm approaching my main question, which is finding my purpose in life more about asking what life wants from me or what I want from life?
What you want from life. You are the creator. And really, the other part of it you can't get wrong anyway, because what life wants from me, such a good question. What life wants for me is talking about this non-physical energy that is really you. In other words, who you were prior to coming into this physical body is still who that non-physical energy is. In other words, so you came with intention. So then as you stand in your physical form, you could accurately ask the question, what does that part of me want from me? And we would say what that non-physical part of you wants from you is new experience, new life, new contrast, new exploration, new conclusions that what? New conclusions that part of you can sink its teeth in, can vibrationally become. So can you see how no matter which way you ask or answer that question, it's right either way? And so that's the way it all wraps together. In other words, you are pure positive energy wanting to expand and stay in alignment. And expand and stay in alignment. Because expansion without alignment cannot be. Even if you expand and don't keep up with it, the larger part of you has kept up with it and will be the eternal basis from which you come forth again. So what life wants from you is joyful expansion. And what you want from life is joyful expansion.
Do you think that there are times when there's something that the ego wants, and maybe we could call the ego that part of you that thinks it's separate from source? And
that's the only way that we would ever negatively apply the word ego. This physical vantage point with this physical personality and this physical willingness to explore contrast is what so many refer to as ego. And it is essential to the expansion of eternalness. It's what puts the eternity in eternalness. So anyone who is not happy about the egotistical, selfishly focused human being who is out here on the leading edge, selfishly choosing for self and giving birth to the expanding universe, they're not understanding the big picture. And we think that most who are speaking about that as they reference Buddhism or whatever it is that is teaching are not understanding what was being said. It's just another example of those people from long ago being tuned in, tapped in, turned on, explaining through the genre of their time. And now people all this time later are trying to take those teachings that were given for that leading edge at that time and try to make that which was leading edge at that time work for this, which is a different leading edge time. You see, they're all saying the same thing, but over time it's misinterpreted through those who have their own reasons, and that's all right. But we promise you that at the heart of this religion that is so meaningful to you that you were mentioning is an absolute understanding of the true nature of the being and an eternal quest to come into alignment with it. And sometimes that's interpreted by others as saying, if this non-physical part, which I'm eternally seeking alignment with, matters so much, then the physical human part is less important. And it isn't. because Source expands through this human part.
Thank you.
Yes, something more from you. There must be.
Well, you know, I think a lot of it, you say words don't teach, and how you were just mentioning, words can sometimes lead you away of the importance. So sometimes it's more about the terms that we use, and the terms that we use have a lot to do with our personal paradigm. So, you know, when I say ego and identification with the ego, it's, I guess that would just be believing that who you are now is the larger part of you, but you've been saying all along. And so I think in essence you've answered my question by saying
who you are now is not the larger part of you.
Right.
It's just an important leading edge part of you that is going to cause who you really are to expand. Mm-hmm. In other words, feel with us that, do you accept that you are an eternal being? Of course you do.
Yes.
And isn't it, can't you feel it? Isn't it logical that this source energy part of you, that the dominant part of you remains eternally non-physically focused? It's like you plug your toaster into the electricity, but you don't ask the electricity to be the toaster. You accept that there is the electricity and there is the toaster, and they have two different functions that work very well together. But the source energy part of you is the energy, the vibration, the current, the source of that which is everything that you see that is physical. So then part of that source energy is expressing itself here in the human personality that is you, in this egotistically, selfishly focused. And by that we only mean you see through the eyes of self. You see through the eyes of self, which means as you explore and know what you don't want, you know what you do want. The self within you, all the synthesizing of the self within you knows what you prefer. And when you come to that conclusion, whether you speak it or not, and you do it all day, every day, the larger part of you who is so certain that you should know, after all, you are pure positive energy, extended out here on the leading edge of thought, exploring contrast, and from your point of view, coming to a conclusion of what you think would be better for you. The source energy part of you does not question that. But you have to understand, it's not just source answering what you're asking for. Source is answering what everyone is asking for. Everyone. Imagine how wonderful it is when billions of humans and all kinds of other physical creators, also your beasts and even microbes, are having experiences and are asking. Even the one-celled organism is having evolution through vibrational expansion. In other words, even the one-celled organism is exposed to contrast and is emanating preferences of what would be better. So if Source, who is not just answering you, leading edge creator, but is answering all leading edge creators, can you feel how the whole of creation is moving up to better and better places? Source isn't saying you're the good ones and you're the bad ones, and so we'll answer your requests but not yours. Everyone who asks, no matter what, everyone who asks is answered. And so this source energy expansion is becoming more and more and more. But humans, the critical experience that humans feel is that often as individuals you have expanded and then you don't take your own expansion. You stay over there beating the drum of something that is, and so you don't let yourself be who you are. The best words that we can offer is that life has caused you to become more. Are you letting yourself be it? And the answer is, if you're feeling joyful in this moment, yes. If you're feeling hatred in this moment, no. You became something that you're not letting yourself be. And the funniest thing of all, funny, not funny the way you think funny, but it's really an interesting, odd thing, is that the very thing that caused your expansion is almost without exception the very thing that you're using as your excuse not to take your expansion. So when you get it, how this all fits together, and you begin to, little by little, show yourself, because you're right, words don't teach, show yourself the vibrational alignment with you so that you train yourself into the best that you have become, then, to be physically focused in this life, in this leading edge life, having trained yourself into vibrational alignment with the eternalness that you are, now you get to see moment by moment, this world, this leading edge world, you get to see it through the eyes of Source. Just doesn't get any better than that. And we think so many of those ancient teachers were talking from that perspective because they understood through meditation. They released resistance. They came into alignment. They did all kinds of things that brought them into alignment where they saw the world through the eyes of Source. But then as they teach others, they see how difficult it is for people to see the world through the eyes of Source when they're beating the drum of things gone wrong. And so they explain, don't beat the drum of things gone wrong. Let those things of a worldly nature, let them not be what you give your attention to. Turn your attention to things that are more important. And we want you to understand that there is nothing more spiritual than full manifestation, because everything that you see as full manifestation is an extension of this Source energy, you see. And you can feel your alignment or not so much alignment in every single moment. And no matter what philosophy you're studying or adhering to, no matter what, you can't get it wrong.